Imagine walking into a glamorous party filled with the rich and powerful and being laughed at, insulted, and even having your clothes torn apart just because you were a maid. That's exactly what happened to Maria. But what no one expected was the billionaire's shocking reaction that silenced the entire hall and melted every heart in the room. Stay with me, because this story will change the way you look at respect forever. Imagine being looked down upon, laughed at, and humiliated just because of the job you do. That's exactly what happened to Maria, a kind-hearted maid who worked tirelessly every single day, but little did anyone know her dignity would soon be defended in the most unexpected way by a billionaire, whose reaction melted every heart in the room. Maria was a simple woman. She wore a faded uniform every day, carried a small lunchbox, and always had a gentle smile on her face. Life had never been easy for her. She grew up in poverty, raised her younger siblings alone, and eventually took a job as a maid to make ends meet, though people often disrespected her. Maria believed in one thing: work with honesty, no matter how small the job may look. Every job has dignity. One evening, Maria's wealthy employer hosted a grand party at his mansion. Politicians, businessmen, celebrities all dressed in glittering clothes, sipping expensive wine, and showing off their power. Maria was assigned to serve food and drinks, but in that glittering crowd, her simple uniform stood out. Some guests whispered, others chuckled, and one arrogant lady sneered, "Why do they let servants walk around here like they belong?" Among the guests was Mrs. Catherine, the mother of Alexander, king of Billionaire, known for his intelligence, charm, and kindness. But unlike her son, Catherine was proud, judgmental, and looked down on anyone who wasn't rich. When she saw Maria serving drinks, her eyes narrowed. She whispered loudly enough for others to hear, "This maid looks so cheap. People like her should know their place." Laughter followed her words, and Maria's cheeks burned red with embarrassment. As Maria walked past, Catherine deliberately pulled her tray harshly, making the glasses fall and crash onto the floor. Everyone gasped. Maria bent down to clean, but Catherine smirked. "Look at her, can't even carry a tray properly. This is why maids are nothing." And then Catherine did the unthinkable. She grabbed Maria's uniform by the sleeve and yanked it so hard that the fabric tore. Gasps filled the hall. Maria stood frozen, her eyes filled with tears, while some guests laughed cruelly. At that very moment, Alexander King, the billionaire himself, walked into the room. He saw Maria standing in humiliation, her uniform torn. With his mother's hand still clutching the fabric, the entire room went silent. Everyone waited to see what Alexander would do. Would he side with his powerful mother or defend the maid? Alexander calmly walked over, took off his expensive suit jacket, and gently draped it over Maria's shoulders. Then he looked directly at his mother and said in a voice that echoed across the hall, "The only person who should feel ashamed here tonight is you, Mother." Gasps spread again. Catherine's face went pale. Guests whispered in shock. No one had ever spoken to her that way. Alexander continued, his voice steady. "This woman you just insulted works harder than anyone in this room. She earns her living with dignity, while many here waste their money showing off. A maid's job may not seem glamorous, but it is honest and it deserves respect." Turning to the crowd, he added, "Shame on anyone who thinks less of another human being just because of their job. Without people like Maria, this mansion wouldn't even run." The hall fell silent. Every guest lowered their gaze. Maria stood, trembling, but this time it was from relief, not humiliation. Catherine tried to protest, but her voice broke. Alexander's eyes burned with disappointment. "Mother," he said softly, "you taught me about kindness when I was young. What happened to that lesson?" Catherine had no answer. She turned away, ashamed, while the crowd silently judged her. Instead, Maria's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "Sir, you didn't have to defend me." Alexander smiled gently and replied, "Maria, you're not just a maid. You're a human being who deserves respect, and tonight, the world needed to be reminded of that." Maria bowed her head, holding back tears of gratitude. From that moment on, the party's atmosphere completely changed. Guests who had laughed at Maria now approached her with apologies. Some even shook her hand, realizing how wrong they had been. Alexander stood tall, his arm protectively around Maria's shoulders, making it clear she was under his respect and protection. The night ended with a powerful lesson. Respect is not about wealth, titles, or clothing. Respect is about humanity. Maria went home that night, her heart heavy yet full of hope. She had been shamed, yes, but the kindness and courage of one man had restored her dignity. And for everyone who witnessed it, Alexander's words echoed in their hearts forever. Every job has dignity. Every human deserves respect. If this story touched your heart, remember every job has dignity, and every human deserves respect. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories with powerful life lessons. And hit the notification bell so you never miss our next upload. See you in the next story.